Hey, what's going on, folks? How's everybody doing out there today? See, we got Willie on here. What's going on, Willie? How are you? What else we got out there? If you're just showing up, make sure you go ahead and throw up a hello so we can say hello right back. All right. We had a great level 2 tactical long range this weekend. Folks, if you weren't there, you missed out. That is for sure. Hey, Chris, good to see you, man. Chris Turner. Good to see you. And hopefully this Wednesday night, Dangerous Liberty. Again, we're changing the name to Dangerous Liberty Podcast. We're going to move this to Wednesday. I know Friday was the issue for us. I think Friday was the issue for a lot of people out there. Hey, Mike, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you.
Mike said he's coming by next month to pick up his MPA.
Speaking of which, folks, we haven't even listed it yet, but we have we ordered an extra MPA that just came in. So it's an MPA tungsten M65 Creedmoor
With a side folding stock.
Side folding stock.
Polished
barrel, ready to ship right now. So ready
it will
to
be
ship.
listed on the website in the morning, and it's first come, first serve. So
Yep.
If it's something you want for sure, we can take care of that tonight via email or whatever. Otherwise, it's going up first thing in the morning, and that one is here, ready to go out to your FFL or for you to come here and pick up.
Absolutely. And we'll also be pushing it out on our Substack. If it's not gone by, tonight, first thing in the morning, we'll push that on our Substack as well. Typically those have lasted about
3 or 4 hours.
3 or 4 hours. I know everybody's very excited to get one of those and to be able to get one and get it shipped right away. Pretty big deal. Jason, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Tonto, good to see you. Can everybody hears us okay? Volume's good. Image is good, except for my face. I'll cover it.
Put the microphone in front.
Exactly. What's that?
Sorry, I said put the microphone in front of your face. It'll help.
We need a bigger mic. Oh. Yeah, so we had a great long range level 2 this past weekend. Mike was there. Again, if you guys weren't there, you missed out. And we had Noah join the 1,000-yard club. If you guys didn't see that post, we put him up on the new 6'5" over there, 6'5" PRC. That's another thing we'll talk about in just a few minutes. But man, that kid, every time I put him behind a gun, he does something magical. It's pretty seriously, he just
he's not stressed over it, I think, is one of the big things.
I'm sure it is.
I'm just saying, like, that really helps, I think.
It does.
Yeah.
He's not stressed about it. And but I will say, I think he just naturally, that was the first weekend yesterday. This past week was the first time that he's been on a long gun like that.
Yeah.
I hadn't really worked with him. The day before, he put the first rounds through that on Saturday. I hadn't worked on his fundamentals. We didn't go over body position or anything. Worked a little bit. It was pretty amazing to watch the whole thing. Let's see. We got Alaska Andy. I think that's the first time you've been here, Alaska Andy. Well, welcome
Alaska
to you.
One Andy.
Alaska One Andy. Not to be confused with 2.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, we may have froze. We're definitely having some issues with our Wi-Fi and our internet in general. We actually have a Starlink that we've had for what, like a month now.
We're on our second billing cycle, Gary.
But Gary hasn't gotten around to actually putting it up yet.
Because it has to go on the roof.
It has to go on
Summer
the roof.
doesn't do heights.
Yeah. And what'd you say?
I don't do heights.
Oh, I thought you said Gary doesn't do heights. I'm like, I
I
don't.
said I don't. Gary has to put it on the roof, and I don't do heights.
Yeah. So we got to mount that up there, and hopefully that's going to work a lot better. We'll see how Starlink works. Chad, good to see you, man. John, good to see you. Is there a general consensus that Wednesdays work better than Fridays for everybody? I'm curious to get your thoughts on that. Let me know on that. So we got a bunch of different things coming up. Number one, we have tactical 2-gun coming up this weekend, folks. If you've already taken our tactical handgun, our handgun level 1, and our tactical carbine level 1 and 2, and our handgun level 1 and 2, and a med course, you're eligible to take the tactical 2-gun. That's our intro into CQB. Day 1 we'll be running pistols and rifles. Day 2 we're going to be in a shoot house using simunitions. You guys will really enjoy that. We'll get into 1 and 2 man room clearing. So that's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. So if you haven't done so already, definitely check that out. Summer, go ahead and stand up. Let's talk about these sweatshirts. One of the things that we've been working on, folks, for the last 3 years. It's no joke.
Here we go.
Go ahead and turn around. Are these sweatshirts? Number one, anytime that you can sit down. That's good. Everybody sees it. Look beautiful. Look beautiful.
Everybody didn't see it. There's some that aren't here yet.
Oh, I'm sure
They're still
some of them
coming
have. I can't. Well, you want to stand there the whole show? Yeah. So these sweatshirts, again, it's something that we've been working on a long time. Anytime that we're doing a piece of clothing, it takes a long time because both Summer and I are very picky about shirts, hats, whatever they are. And it's hard to find good ones at a decent price.
And then I end up stressing over colors and
colors,
how many sizes of what color to order. It's just a whole thing.
It's a thing. So anyways, if you go to our website, I don't know if you want to type in our I don't know if you can find the actual link to that. You know, it doesn't matter. Go to our website, look at apparel, swag. I don't know what it is. Anyways, order yourself one of these, folks. We already got some spammers going on here. Ban those people. Bam them.
Oh my gosh. How do we do that?
I don't know.
Block
user.
Jesus. There we go.
They don't get a timeout. They're getting blocked. Anyways, the $39.95, folks, these are really, really nice. Summer's has already been washed once. This one's actually brand new. The one I had, it has been washed once. Still looks beautiful. I wore it both days this weekend during the course. Very soft, very nice. They're premium sweatshirts. And again, check those out. Definitely worth picking up. Let's see.
Feels like a hug from Gary.
Feels like a hug from Gary, according to the
according to the description.
According to the description. That is not Gary's description, but it was a pretty good one. And just like I told him, you can always get a hug from me, but if we're gonna cuddle, I'm always the big spoon. Just remember that.
I'm posting the link for you guys now.
All right, Summer's going to post a link up there for you guys. So definitely check that out. The other thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to end up doing a full review on this. You probably can't see it too great back here, but we have the Ultralight Hunter. That's the MPA Ultralight Hunter. That's going to be going out to a client very soon. Good client and a good friend of mine. That thing is about 7 pounds dry, right? Without a scope or anything else. So it has all the features of the MPA PMR Pro, just scaled down a little bit. And that thing is absolutely remarkable. That particular one is in 6.5 PRC. The client actually ordered an additional barrel in 308 as well, additional barrel and a bolt. 308 requires a different bolt than 6.5 PRC. But again, if you haven't checked out my barrel change videos, the barrels are extremely easy to change on these. And the other thing that I want to talk about is the brakes. The MPA brake is probably the most effective brake that I've ever used on a rifle. We do sell those individually, and what's also great is those are self-timing. They basically have a separate nut on the end. It's a lot like the Area 419 Hellfire. Anyways, extremely easy to put on. Just takes 2 wrenches, basically. It's easy to time. And I'll tell you what, folks, that 6.5 PRC, it shoots like a 6.5 Creed or less. Noah shot that thing. He probably did 15, 20 rounds, no problem. Summer shot it.
It felt great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like no recoil.
That thing does not move. And that's 6.5 PRC is basically a Magnum round. So if you're looking for a good break, we have them in 30 cal and 6.5. folks, I can't recommend that MPA brake enough.
If you do get one, it looks like it just threads on, but there's a little bit more to it. There's a installation video on their product website.
Grab one real quick.
Sure.
We'll show you guys real quick. While she's doing that, again, if there's any questions about anything that we've covered in the past or anything that is on your guys' we'd love to have you out. That is going to be a lot of fun. And I promise you got nothing better going on. All right. So this right here, again, hopefully you can see that. There's actually two pieces. It's machined so well that it looks like it's one piece, but this nut and the actual brake itself, they're actually counter threaded. So anyways, you'll actually turn this one rotation. You'll screw this on all the way on up to the shoulder of your barrel there. And then you just tighten them both and make sure that it's timed in place. So, and what I mean by timed is making sure that these louvers right here are basically at the 9 and the 3 o'clock. So, you don't want that up and down because then you'll cause muzzle rise. But that right there, folks, is without a doubt the most effective brake that I've ever used. Also, their mounts. Folks, these are extremely lightweight. Probably need to do a video on these just on their own. They come in 34 millimeter, 35 millimeter, 30 millimeter, 0 MOA or 20 MOA. And I think there's actually another elevation that they come in with additional elevation built into it.
I think it's just 0 and 20, isn't it?
Maybe it's just 0 and 20. Irregardless, I know that's not a word. Actually, it has been adopted as a word. But anyways, these are extremely well made. Just they're right up there with the spur mount, but they're half the price of a spur mount and definitely half the weight. So these are definitely my new favorite mounts by far. We do carry some other ones, Seekins Precision and some other things like that, but I would tell you what, I would recommend those every single time. You can also get the turret guards that will actually guard the turret. I actually have them installed on that. I'm not going to pick up the rifle. YouTube doesn't like that. They're going to demonetize this video if I do that, but I will definitely show you that in more detail on the full video that I plan on shooting tomorrow, and it should be out by the end of the week or something like that. Yeah, we're definitely having some video trouble. We appreciate that, Steve. John, it's good to see you, buddy. Hopefully Wednesdays, we kept missing you on Fridays. Glad to see you.
I couldn't get my comment that I posted on YouTube to show up there.
They tend to get rid of links. You'd have to put it in a banner. I don't know if you want to type it in a banner, that's fine. Either way, folks, go to our website.
I put it through Facebook.
If you would like to get a sweatshirt, we appreciate the support. Also on our Patreon, go check that out. We always appreciate your support there. $5-10 a month goes a long way. It helps us to continue to be able to produce new content. Those are made by MPA. Both of these products are made by MPA. Both the mounts, and the MPA
BA muzzle brake.
It's actually called the D3, but the MPA BA muzzle brake. And that thing is absolutely phenomenal. 6.5 or 30 cal. Both of those are made by MPA. American made, guaranteed, just great quality all the way around. All right. What else we got on the agenda tonight?
I just need to fix something real quick. You go ahead.
What are you fixing?
Some stock on the website. Make
sure
gotcha. People can buy stuff. Is that okay?
Sweet. The other thing, folks, is we did open up. I'm going to have Derek and Tyler on our web, one of these pretty soon. So we are opening up courses down in the Richmond area. So if you know folks down in the Richmond area, we're going to start advertising down there pretty heavily. We did run a course last weekend. We plan on running a carbine course 2 weekends from now, basically. We did have some berm issues there. It is a new facility, and because of the hurricane and stuff, we had some berm erosion. They're going to try to get that built up, and hopefully we'll have that berm back up to snuff so that we can run that course. And of course, if we aren't able to get that berm back up to what we consider a safe level, we'll have to postpone that course, but we will start running courses regularly down that way. So we're looking forward to that. Mods, non-structural hat. I don't know what Dan was saying up there. Franchise.
He wants a non-structured hat.
Oh, a non-structured hat.
47 brand franchise is his vote.
What does that mean? Is that
I guess
type
it's
of
a
hat?
brand or yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that for sure. The other thing, folks, again, when it comes to whether you were talking about rifles or other stuff this year for Christmas, definitely start getting your orders in. We're already seeing a pickup on orders, as well as a lengthening of
Lead times.
So we have lots of things coming up. So if you're looking to get some things for Christmas, number one, we'd love to be your source for all of your Christmas needs, or telling your wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever you got going on out there, to order from us for Christmas.
Or get a gift card.
Gift cards always work too. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I plan on doing a video very shortly is the Death Grip Infinite tripod that we have back there as well. It's a lot like the Bog Pod. So or Death Grip the Bog Pod Death Grip. If you go check out my video on that, the difference is that now has a ball head. It has a ball head. It has also has an integrated Arca rail attachment. So basically you can directly attach your rifle to that, as opposed to just a saddle. It does come with a saddle as well, but that is a great Christmas gift and great thing for hunting. The other thing I wanted to talk about too is when we're talking to that right there for hunting, without a doubt, that tripod is one of the best things that you can get for hunting. It's lightweight. They have the carbon fiber or the aluminum, and you're talking about a tripod that essentially you get probably 95% of the capabilities of some of the more expensive ones, like Really Right Stuff. But what's the carbon fiber one? It's like $399. $399.
I think the retail is actually like $439, but we have them for $399.
Yeah, so it's listed for $399. So that is a amazing product for, number one, doing positional shooting. Number two, taking with you on a hunt, and number three, being able to use that just for regular recreational shooting if you don't have a shooting bench or anything like that. So definitely go check that out. That makes a great Christmas gift as well. When it comes to actually, what?
Speaking of Christmas gifts, so just be on the lookout. Fix It Sticks came out with a couple of really cool, really nice sets just for the holidays. We can't release them yet. They're under a specific time frame, and there'll be special pricing on those. But there's a couple of really good
show
kits. Probably, but we can't put them up or anything for sale yet.
That's fine. Why don't you go grab some of those? The other thing I want you to do is see if we got a couple of med kits over there, or any of the other medical supplies, as well as the lightning strikes.
Can we just bring the whole shelving?
Yeah, bring everything over here. Yeah, Ed, we're looking forward to doing the two-gun class, tactical two-gun class this weekend as well. We haven't had one of those in a while, and that's always a lot of fun to get inside the shoot house and to actually learn to manipulate two guns, both your carbine and your pistol, safely. Yeah, Richie, I'll tell you what, if you want the Cliff Notes of that Bog Infinite review, that thing, number one, the Death Grip was a great tripod, especially for the money. The Infinite is infinitely better. It really is. I mean, with that ball head that allows you a lot more flexibility, everything on, all the leg mounts are solid. The ball head mount is solid. The Arca or the saddle that it comes with are both solid mounts. Extremely good quality. And at $399, it is that's for the carbon fiber one. You can also get it in a slightly heavier aluminum one. But what I do like for the carbon fiber, especially for hunting, is the fact that it's quieter, not only lighter, but it's also a little bit quieter than the aluminum one.
So this is one of the Christmas sets. It's their ratcheting T-drive, but it comes with this little set of bits and stuff.
Yeah,
case.
So you basically, if you kind of think about a Leatherman case, and I know that's hard to see or impossible to see, Not a lot of resolution when it comes to the streaming, but basically you get a pouch, you get a plastic bit holder that it comes with, and then the T drive. That's a ratcheting T drive as well.
And then the other Christmas set they came out with is the Works toolkit with the individual torque limiters, but which we sell all the time. It's our most popular fix and sticks item, but it comes with an additional
Punch set
and additional bits, and it will be just barely above the regular price of this set.
Yeah, so you're getting
a lot of value.
So it's a little bit of an increase, and I'm not sure that we can even say what that increase is right now. But you're getting a lot more for your money.
And then this is that new locking hex drive.
Where is my? Hold on, I want to show one thing that I forgot. So this is the long range kit, folks. And I did a review on that. The video's on there, but one thing that I didn't realize. One thing that I didn't realize during the video, or at the time of the video, was you have this black collar here, and what I didn't know is that is removable. That's what that black collar is, and it's a collar just like you would see in a an impact driver or something like that. But that allows you a lot more flexibility. You can put that up there. You can add additional bits there.
Yep.
Use this as an extension, however you want to do that. But that was one thing that I didn't realize.
And this is
when I was going over that.
This is the
ratcheting,
but with the locking hex drive. So there's the ratcheting, and then there's the locking hex drive.
I think most of the kits, if not all the kits that come with the ratcheting one, have that locking collar. You can buy just the ratcheting one separate, but that is a great thing as well.
There's a couple of them.
The other big thing that I want to talk about when it comes to hunting, folks, I know we're going into hunting season, and one of the biggest, we see people die out in the woods all the time. And there's a few things that I want to talk about along those lines. Number one, don't take a trip into the woods for granted, right? There's a lot of variables out there that you just don't have control of, whether you're attacked by an animal, whether you're injured by another hunter, whatever it is. So you need to have some pace plans, whether it's a pace plan for medical, pace plan for shelter. And if you haven't watched my video on pace plans, it's primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. So again, you need to have some planning ahead of time for when bad things occur. Whether it's shelter, having a decent shelter, being able to keep yourself warm and not die of hypothermia, whether you're accounting for injuries. These are on the website, right?
Yes.
So this is essentially our primary med kit. And this, again, we have a Molly set up back here, but you can also just run this through a belt. There is this is basically a large belt loop that goes through here. This is very low profile. It's perfect for, hunting. It's perfect for your tactical belt, whatever it is. And
they also make a vehicle mount for this pouch as well.
They make a vehicle mount for that as well. And this is a great low profile kit for all occasions. And then we have some of the larger kits that are more for maybe a backpack, a longer type situation, a longer excursion, or even for the vehicles. But you got to have med kits out there. The other thing that we don't talk a lot about, one of our favorite courses is our family survival course. And I call it a family survival course because I want to make sure that people understand that it is family friendly. But really, all right.
Blade coming through too.
Yeah, and that does come apart. So again, this is one of my favorite products when it comes to fire starting. Everybody has seen a ferro rod. The problem with a lot of those standard ferro rods, and I kind of go through a full demo on these. But these are very simple to use. It's American made. It's going to last a lifetime. You can actually, there's a ferro rod in here, but what you can't see is inside this machine tube is there's actually a stop right here. The problem with a lot of ferro rods, you can see I can only go to, I don't know, I probably got about another half inch of metal before I go to the end. The problem with a lot of ferro rods, if you've ever started a fire like that, is when you're trying to start your tender, a standard ferro rod, so many times I see people just continue on with that striker and then it messes up their tender bundle. This prevents that. So you can see this is extremely effective. It has a very large striker area, so you get a lot of surface on that ferro rod. And on the inside of this, it comes packed full of artificial tinder. Now, a lot of times in our courses, and each one of these little tinder bundles, you could make probably 4 or 5 fires out of. I would actually just pull off a small piece like this, and then you still have a whole bunch left. But that is full of tinder in there. And again, American-made product. This was actually designed by a Boy Scout, and it is a super, out of all the different fire starting products, number one is compact. All of this works whether it's wet or not. Again, compact, lifetime warranty on this thing. The thing is going to last you an entire lifetime. Very high quality product, but with one of these, if you know how to start a fire, this is going to get your fire started every single time. So I don't know if these are on a website or not. They are. They're on our website.
I just checked.
Look up Lightning Strike. Definitely a cool Christmas product, and definitely a product that you should have in your car. Definitely if you're going out hunting, it's lightweight and it's very, very useful. And if you can't start a fire with that, then...
And our kids love using them.
Yep.
They fight over who gets to start the fire with the lightning strike.
We also have, I don't know if we still have some of the water purification.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, we've done a lot of research on water purification. What we have on is the Rapid Pure products. Those are one of the few devices out there that will actually filter out viruses. Most of them won't.
Also, they've done a lot of testing, even since they developed the product and released it. They've done independent lab testing where, when most filters freeze, it expands the media so that it now is allowing bacteria through. And in the case
It's no longer effective.
Yeah, most filters won't filter out viruses. This will, but either way, if you freeze it, the theory is that all that stuff is now going to come through because you've expanded the filter itself. They've done a lot of testing on this filter, and even after 1, 2, multiple freezes, it is still filtering out not only the bacteria, but the viruses as well. And that was all done by independent labs. Now, would I recommend leaving the filter in your car wet to freeze overnight? No, don't chance it. But in case it does freeze, while you're out in a survival situation, you can still use it.
Yeah, Richie has a good comment, and it's a point of contention with me as well. So Richie said, you had me sold. Throw that comment up, Richie, that bottom comment. Richie says, you had me sold and fixed it, but hate to see they were made in Taiwan. I hope an American-made company make note of this. Snap-on, Matco, Cornwell, or any number of American tool companies. So that is something that you can get rid of it. That is something that, number one, I spend a lot of time on looking for American-made products. That being said, I will tell you, number one, it's sometimes it's impossible to find. But number two, when we do get American-made products, or some of the American-made products, then the comment is, why is it so expensive? Well, it's an American-made product. So while I do our very best to find a product that is American-made, the other reality is that if there's not an American-made equivalent, and I'm not boys are not on the
I told them not to be.
Yeah. I don't know how much you guys, I think we have some cut out there, but again, the balance is trying to find the balance is trying to find a quality product that offers a good value. Because again, I don't know of a American made version or equivalent of Fix It Sticks.
Or we've even talked to, clients of ours that are CEOs of American companies that have their product made in Canada or Mexico and catch a lot of hell for it, frankly. And they are trying actively and have tried for a while to find a manufacturing capability in the United States to bring that product here, and they can't find anybody capable of doing it. So it's not for lack of trying or not for lack of want to bring that manufacturing to the United States. Sometimes it just hasn't been possible.
It doesn't exist, or the few American made companies that could probably do it are dedicated to something else completely. So the reality is, and I hope that we get a president and political leadership that fixes this. But the reality is that a lot of these industries just aren't American based anymore. They can't compete.
Or, the young people are going into service-based industries, or, they're not going into machining or tooling and those kind of things that are a skill set in itself. And it's just kind of a dying breed, for lack of a better word.
Absolutely. Don says that's starting to change very slowly, but changing. And I'm assuming, Don, you're talking about that it's changing for the positive. And I agree. The one thing that I see that is definitely changing in America, and I'm sure we have lots of competition overseas, but one thing that is definitely changing the manufacturing industry in general is 3D printing. That's a huge, that is a huge industry. Even on, I know, like MK Machining, they make a lot of gun, everything from like scope caps. They make a lot of different gun accessories and things like that, and they do everything that's 3D printing. So that's another industry that's coming up. And now, of course, they can do 3D printing with titanium and other metals. So I'm interested to see what that brings. But absolutely, I'm hoping to see. I definitely know that during the Trump administration, we saw a resurgence of American production, and unfortunately, with the economy that going the way that it is, and current fuel and energy prices, I think that has taken kind of it's backslidden a little bit. And again, hopefully we get some good leadership at the political level, at the national political level, and a state political level, to where we can bring some of these industries back. But the reality is, just know this, that when it comes to Paramount Tactical, we're always looking for the American-made solution. But at the same time, we also know that we need to find a product that has a good balance between value and quality. And
sometimes, even though that product may be made in another country, you're still supporting an American company. Like, we know the heads of these companies, we know the people who have founded them, have started them, and they are an American company for all intents and purposes, and they just have not been able to get their stuff manufactured here for one reason or another.
And I'll talk specifically on that. The CEO that Summer is talking about specifically is Tom with Secure-It, Kubinik. Tom Kubinik Secure-It. He has worked really hard trying to bring those safes, the manufacturer of those safes, back to the U.S. They are doing it, but he literally can't find anyone that will, not because it's so expensive, they just literally can't build them here.
And they can't handle the volume either.
They can't handle the volume. And again, and of course, the price of those would go up. But even if, he sat there and told us, because we had a long talk about it, even if it was significantly more, it just, the capability isn't there. And that is sad. It is sad. So he's doing a lot more. He's moved a lot of production from China to Mexico. There's still some things that they make in China, just because they still can't do it in Mexico either. But, without getting too political, being from, for those of you who don't know, I was born in the Detroit area. My grandfather on my mom's side worked for Ford. My grandfather on my dad's side worked for GM. And I literally, as a kid, I moved from Michigan when I was 10, but my dad still lives there, and I still go back there regularly. But I mean, that is a, you can take a look at that and see what, in my opinion, unions and I'll even get more specific and maybe even a little more political, Democrats have done to the production industry just there in Detroit. You know, you had unions milking those companies for everything they could, and then state and local, they started milking them for everything they could. Well, what did they do? They started moving production down to Ohio. Those unions and everything else, they followed them there. They did the same thing. The next thing you know, they're moving down to Mexico. So, you know, those two things between government and unions, I think have absolutely devastated the manufacturing and production in the U.S. And I think that's just a fact. Now, with that being said, I do understand and do agree with the premise that there was definitely a time when unions were needed. I think they did a lot of good in probably the 40s, 50s, maybe even into the 60s, but they turned into just a completely political machine that was all about that just strangled companies left and right. And we're still seeing that. And there's some better than others, and there's some, but I can tell you right now, you can look at what's going on. I was just not too long ago, I looked at what they were talking about, what it costs to make a Toyota versus what it costs to make a GM or Ford vehicle. And, you know, the people at Toyota are getting better healthcare. People at Toyota are getting a lot of better things, but because they're non-union, they're able to do that at a much cheaper price. So, you know, take that for what it is. And again, I feel like I'm stepping on your toes. I'm just telling you what I believe. And if you don't like it, you know, you can go to another podcast.
Looks like my mom's on here.
Jenny, good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also, again, folks, so again, when we're getting into the hunting season, definitely check out some of the hunting rifles that are on the NPA. I don't think we actually have these on our website at the moment. We
taking
can order
orders.
them. We are taking orders.
Yep.
Anything on NPA, you can get from us too. Dan, I was going to tell you, I think Dan's still on here. If he's not, I'll shoot him. Dan's our amazing web guy. Dan, I can't thank you enough. He doesn't get nearly enough credit. Doesn't get nearly enough pay either. But,
Poor Dan.
poor Dan. But we're going to get the rest of the MPA offerings up on the website. We're slowly going through that. Same time, we're still revamping our website constantly. We're moving things around, adding additional categories so it's easier to see as we're growing. You know, what made
worked.
sense and what worked, you know, 3 months ago no longer makes sense and works now. But we appreciate everybody's support, and we appreciate everything that you guys do to allow us to do this and allow us to continue to grow this company. Throw up what Sheriff Nate has to say over there.
Says, with the final rule of ATF on ghost guns being that if I had a firearm and needed work done on it, that said rule requires that the gunsmith, if they were to have it overnight, would require said gunsmith to serialize your weapon. I would assume that this process is not known to most and would affect the hunter, avid gun owner, etc. Thoughts? I didn't even realize.
I know a bunch of new rulings are coming down. Some of those are being challenged too. We probably need to get either the gun trust guru back on here.
Yeah.
I'm very reluctant to pretend that I know the first thing or
it's just hard to understand some of the legalese and all that sometimes without.
And quite frankly, the ATF, some are not called the ATF. Well, some are not. Some are called the ATF all the time to talk about clarifying certain things.
Simple questions.
And they do not know the answer.
They don't know. And then I get transferred to a supervisor and he doesn't know. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to legally handle this and do this correctly so they don't break the law when you guys can't even tell me an answer? Like, what am I supposed to do? And nobody knows.
And quite frankly, the non-con We're back. Yeah. So, you know, all of these agencies are born from tragedy most of the time, whether we're talking about Department of Homeland Defense, um, all of these different laws, rules, acts.
I-
You know, they
I get so nervous that I'm gonna, not know of a new rule change and the minute it happens,
Sure.
and then, mess something up, and
it's real easy to become a felon real quick in this country.
it stresses
that's
me
just
out.
the reality
It
of it.
stresses me out so
But
bad.
but again, we as Americans, we gotta, we gotta start getting a little smarter, and not allow fear to dictate our actions, right? Because again, all of these agencies, these different acts, different laws, these, the litmus test should be, hey, if one particular event didn't take place, would we be okay with these rules, with these agencies coming online? And if the answer is no, then we need to do a much better job with that. Because once they're there, man, they're never going away. And once you lose rights, once you lose privacy, it's never coming back. We got to get smart about that. John had a question about, does MPA have a quick release mount to use on an AR? I'm not sure, John. I'll check that. Now, I will say, we're in Sheriff Harmon, we're going to come back to that question, by the way. I didn't mean to blow you off. I will say, when it comes to for AR mounts, you need a cantilever mount. Do we have one of our Midwest Industries? Yep. So with an AR mount, if you're going to mount an optic, you need a cantilever mount. And what that means is that it sets that optic forward so that you can get proper eye relief. And by far the best mounts that we've found for quick release or otherwise are the Midwest Industries. I actually like the Midwest Industries the best, and these are the ones that we typically keep on hand. We also have, so you guys can see, the mount is back here, right? And then the scope extends out another 1.5 inches or so. So it allows that scope to be set forward of the mount without bridging across onto the handrail. So that's what you need for an AR, so that you can get the proper eye relief for an optic. These are the QD mounts. Again, I love these mounts. These are American made. They do have a feature to where you can't just throw these open. It's basically like a little additional lock. You push this button here. I know it's hard to see here, folks, so just bear with me, but just trust me when I say you can push this button right here, and then you can throw that a lever there. These are toolless adjustment, American made, great mounts.
Lifetime warranty
on them. The other ones that you'll see that I also recommend are the ADM mounts. American Defense Manufacturing, I think, is what typically known as ADM. We carry those, and also the Bobro mounts. But I think those and ADM are about the same price, and I like those ones a little bit better, but both are great mounts, and so are the Bobro mounts. Bobro mounts are a little bit cleaner, a little bit sexier. They're usually almost always out of stock. We are a dealer for them, but honestly, they were out of stock for so long that we quit even looking for them. And they're a little bit more expensive, and as far as actual quality, they're not better.
So, John, to answer your question on the Midwest, I have the 34 millimeter high, which is a 1.93 inch height, I believe. Yep. The regular height I have back orders at Midwest, and at every one of my warehouses, they have been gone for months. And I probably have like 20 or 30 on back order. I don't know when they'll be back in, but yeah, anyway. The regular height is out of stock, but we have the high.
Do we have any of the ADM over there?
Let me see.
And while Summer's checking on that, let's go back to what Sheriff Nate said. Would you be open to my friend of mine, ATF agent, come on the show? Absolutely. Well, you have a Seekins cantilever mount?
What?
Yeah.
It's a 20 MOA though.
Yeah. So this is a Seekins. That's another one that I do like very much, and obviously we carry them. Also a great mount. This is 20 MOA. So I mean, this will work on an AR. Though also that we do have in stock, that's a 34 millimeter as well. So yep. It'll just give you some built-in elevation there. But yeah, Sheriff Harmon, we'd be glad to have him come on. Yeah, so we'd love to. Anybody with the ATF that or that has any look, there's common,
Legitimate insight.
yeah, whether you're a lawyer, and person representing the ATF, whatever they want, we'd love to have them on. What else we got here?
Retail on that mount, I believe, is 189 on the Midwest Industries, Gerald. I would have to look up the sequence, to be honest with you.
Should be on our website, right?
Yeah.
Go check out our website, Gerald. It'll be on there. Yeah.
I think the high mount might be a couple dollars more. I guess there's more metal in it. I don't know.
What's that?
I said I think the high height mount is a couple of dollars more. I guess there's more metal in it or something.
Yeah. Yeah, Sheriff, we'd appreciate that if we can get him on and have you both on. That is something that I'd love to have the discussion on a pretty regular basis. And again, anytime one of these new rulings comes out, whether it's a Supreme Court ruling in the favor of gun owners or a new rule that comes out through the ATF, that's something that I would like to be a source for people, to have some experts on hand that we can have those discussions
That have the
and
real
not only talk about
answers.
the legalities of it, but also kind of what that means for the average person.
Right.
And I always enjoy the constitutional debate on it as well. And I like to hear, again, especially people with real legal experience and expertise. It's one thing to interpret the law, I guess, but the other thing that I like to hear, because I know how I feel about it, immediately when I hear something, is the constitutional justification, or how these legal scholars, whether we're talking about people on the bench, whether we're talking about different agencies, I had it. All right, I think we're back, folks.
On the corner.
By next weekend, we're going to have Starlink up, so theoretically, we shouldn't have these issues.
That's what we discussed during the break. That's what you missed.
During the intermission that we had there. And we're having another one.
There we go.
What I will tell you, folks, that I am excited about is within the next, few days, there is another very popular rifle that has come out on the market in the last couple of months that's very similar to, it's basically built around a competition rifle. I would say more similar to the Daniel Defense Delta 5 Pro that we will be getting in to do a review on. With that being said, I can tell you right now, the MPA is better than anything that I've seen. For that PMR Pro, for what you get for the money, folks, it's just hard to beat. And I have seen this rifle that I'm talking about. I have not done any sort of accuracy testing. I've looked at it. I've held it. I have some kind of impressions going into it, but I will do my best to set that aside and objectively review that, and then ultimately compare that to the PMR Pro. Because right now, I would say without a doubt that PMR Pro is kind of the standard out there for especially at that $2,500 mark. I mean, what you get, the accuracy that you get, the quality, the craftsmanship, the quality control that you get is just unmatched out there for the rest at that $2,500 mark. So, take that for what it is. But I am excited about getting that other rifle out and testing it. What else we got going on, babe?
That's kind of, I don't know.
One of the big things that we're getting a lot of questions on is the 2022 training schedule. We will have that out 2023 training schedule.
2022 is done.
It is, man. This thing went by quick. So we'll be getting that out pretty soon. We're still building that out. definitely, whether it's on here or on some via email, whatever it is, if there's some courses that you guys are looking for, let us know. There's definitely a couple of courses that I want to hold. We'll have at least one more family survival course next year. That is still one of my favorite courses, getting everybody out, just, the kids out, everybody. And again, this is not just a family course. So if you're,
No, we had a kidless couple in the
kidless
lesson.
couple come out.
They had a great time.
If you are, just an individual,
Yep.
you don't have, a better half, or you just want time away from that better half, significant other, or whatever it is, come out. And it really is about learning to be self-sufficient, right? And learning that the best way to live through an emergency is to prevent those emergencies.
Mike said he wants to learn how to be John Wick.
Well, Mike, you are well on your way to being John Wick.
Yep.
I always love having you out, Mike. You're one of my, not only my favorite clients, but definitely one of my favorite people. Just want you to know that.
Wow, Mike. That
You're up there too, babe.
I'm a little jealous. I don't get to hear it like that.
I always like hanging out with Mike. Mike's a lot of fun. And Mike's one of those guys that's fun to instruct because he listens to you. Mm-hmm. Even if at the moment, or even in general, he disagrees with you. He listens, he applies it, and then he uses what he likes and he throws out what he doesn't. So
throws out what he doesn't.
That's right.
Oh man. He said he's blushing.
What does Richie Fuller say up there? Futrell.
He says 2022 isn't over. You can do some cold weather survival classes.
Yeah, I could, Richie. And you know how many people will show up? Me and you. You and I.
I would show up. I don't shy away from.
No, you don't.
Being out in the woods.
There's those things that sound really cool and sound like a lot of fun until it comes down to the rubber meets the road. Suddenly all kinds of different important things pop up and can't make that. That's all that good stuff.
Yep.
Go there to John Jacks.
He said that hurts.
John, you're one of my favorite people too. Let's see. What did Sheriff say?
The sheriff says, I applaud that Paramount Tactical has graciously offered threat assessments for Berkeley County schools for free. I believe there is an opportunity to establish a great relationship with the schools, and I just want to say thank you for your selfless offer. I look for them to contact you soon.
Yeah,
yep.
We definitely. All right. Before I was rudely cut off by the internet here, ultimately my goal is that on the Archangel side is that we get some schools that we set up as the model school so that we can show people and get some partners in different security technologies and industries that we could get to donate to, where we could get to where we have some model schools to look at, where we can definitively show that, hey, we can protect our kids at a cost that is absolutely reasonable, a lot less than the $40 billion we just sent Ukraine, and to where it is not intrusive and doesn't turn the school into a prison. All those things are easily done, to where the kids are safe, parents are safe, the teachers are safe. I mean, this is an easy thing, but the reality is, I think the reality is that we have a political left that wants that issue more than they want the solution. And while that
gives them a lot of leverage,
that is acceptable on a lot of other issues, because that's the truth when it comes to homelessness, to a myriad of issues, right? But that is not acceptable when it comes to the safety of our children. So that is something that I want to continue to push forward, and we'll continue to dedicate our time, resources, and anything else that we can do to turn that into a real movement in this country, because that's something we need to fix. It's just, like I said, it's unacceptable.
Oh, hold on, I got to go to this one. Bill says that's one great camera. Summer, you look great.
Doesn't she?
Thanks, Bill.
That
$400 was well spent, Gary.
that was a great $400 investment right there.
Yeah.
One of the funny things, I think Gerald said, should we start adding potassium to our eye?
I actually saw an ad on Facebook today for these, it's called Thyroid Protect pills that and it's to help.
In case of a nuclear.
Yep. To help keep the radiation from attacking your thyroid.
I'll tell you what, we have a government that is playing some dangerous chicken with some very serious people. And I think those people are much more serious than us. I think we are in a really bad spot. And I think it's strictly due to a foolish government. Absolutely foolish. What else we got?
Rich, you said, in regards to hunting, do you anything with thermal like coyote hogs?
No, so that is something that I want to get more into, right? I have a lot of experience on the operational side using thermals and light intensification from my sniper days. I know the capability of those. Funny enough, I have a client that I'm building some cases for that he has a thermal on one of those guns that we're building a case for. And he gave me permission to play around with that, and I definitely plan on tinkering around with that. Pretty high-speed piece of kit there, but that is something. Number one, I would love to get more into thermals and doing some night vision courses. And again, we're going to pause just for a second. All right, we're back. We want to do some night vision courses and thermal courses, but also I'd like to get out there and do some, just even if it's on my own, just doing some hunting. We definitely have a lot more coyotes in this area. You know, ideally, what would be cool is if we kind of were able to schedule a hunt, go down to Texas, something like that, and do some hog hunts down there.
Or two hats.
Or, well, they don't have hogs on there. They're a high fence. So
they just have deer.
They just have deer. I mean, we could thermal hunt the deer, but they would charge us.
They don't have fox in there. Wouldn't you?
Foxes? I don't really, shoot foxes. No.
Well, okay.
Don't really.
Not shoot them, but
cuddle them.
Well, I guess where I'm from in Georgia, they do fox hunts all the time.
What does the fox say?
They let the dogs run the foxes. Never mind.
I don't know. I don't know anything about fox hunting.
Okay.
What I do know is they don't do that at two hats.
Okay. Just a thought.
Yeah. So, anyways, we would love to do some thermal hunts, do some thermal classes, do some night shoots. Those are things that I do have in the works, kind of out there in the orbit of the things that I want to get done. So we'll see how that goes.
I thought this was funny.
I think they're letting Brent. They probably are. He's getting ice cream all over the place right now. Things are sparking, flying. There's a vanilla bean getting stuck to everything.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, so folks, again, this was, so for those you don't know, I flew in dark 30 basically on Thursday from Africa, jumped right into doing course prep for Saturday and Sunday for our long range, and I've just been kind of fighting an avalanche of catching up ever since. So this was definitely not the best prepared live stream that we've ever done, so I apologize for that. But I definitely want to do is make sure that regardless of what's going on, that we are doing this as regularly as possible, so that we can continue to have this. Again, this is just whether it's an hour and a half, or 30 minutes of just getting together, talking, letting you guys know what's going on. All right, so we're back. So again, what I was saying was, coming into next year, we do have some collaborative courses coming up that I plan on working with some folks that we've actually had on the channel that you may have seen on YouTube. I'm looking forward to doing some of those. and also doing some additional courses at some different venues, especially our long range course, getting down to specifically Pig River. Ed, you and I have talked about that. I've actually talked to the owner down there. Great guy. It is, 2 or 3 hours away, but man, that is a great venue to do some long range courses. I think a little bit better than what we have up this way. It's just logistically, it's a nightmare, but I think it'll be worth it. And we're going to do some additional, even like PRS prep courses. That's kind of what I have planned with some of the, some collaborative efforts with some guys that have a little bit more experience along those lines, but I think that'll be a lot of fun. All right, folks, any other questions, gripes, or complaints about summer? Folks, we're going to call it a night tonight. We really appreciate your support. Again, check us out on Patreon. Look forward to some of the upcoming videos. We got some good ones coming out. Think about us for Christmas gifts. Number one, you can also send us Christmas gifts. But again, for all your Christmas shopping, that really goes a long way.
We do take PR packages as well.
Yep, we do take PR packages. And again, you guys always have our email. We're up here every week. So if you have questions about anything, again, feel free to reach out to us, and we really appreciate it. Anyways, until next time, you guys stay armed, stay ready, and we'll talk to you soon.